today's world, powerful symbols are all around us, whispering messages of authority, control, and social norms that often escape our conscious attention. But what if the influence of these symbols isn't just about aesthetics or branding? What if, as philosopher Michel Foucault suggested, there's a deeper, almost invisible system shaping our lives, one built not on direct force, but on subtle and pervasive control? Foucault, a French philosopher known for his ideas on power and surveillance, explored how societies control people through systems that feel natural and inevitable. From currency and national flags to religious icons and corporate logos, Foucault's studies reveal that symbols often act as conduits for a hidden system of social influence, conditioning us without our awareness. By decoding these symbols, we may discover that what we often dismiss as decoration or branding is actually an ancient tool for shaping human perception. Michel Foucault's theories propose that power operates most effectively when it's invisible. He described a concept called biopower, where control is woven into the fabric of society, shaping everything from individual behavior to societal norms without requiring coercion. In his view, symbols serve as powerful agents of this invisible system, conditioning our responses to authority, morality, and identity. Take, for example, the iconic image of an eye within a pyramid, often linked to secret societies like the Illuminati. According to Foucault's perspective, the all-seeing eye isn't just a design, it's a silent, subconscious reminder of surveillance and hierarchy. The presence of this symbol on currency, public buildings, and even in popular media subtly shapes our understanding of authority, encouraging conformity, even in the absence of direct oversight. The eye symbol sees without seeing, creating a surveillance effect where we subconsciously self-regulate, internalizing authority and control as natural parts of life. Corporations and governments have mastered the use of symbols to connect with us emotionally and shape our beliefs. Foucault argued that power not only imposes but also seduces, often by appealing to our senses and emotions. Corporations use logos that convey ideas of progress, trust, and success. For instance, the swoosh of a certain sports brand or the apple with a bite taken out of it, these logos aren't random images. They're carefully crafted to evoke emotional connections, hinting at ideals like victory, innovation, and quality. Governments employ symbols like flags and monuments that create an emotional bond with citizens. Foucault's analysis of state power suggested that these symbols serve as reminders of national identity and unity, but more profoundly, they encourage individuals to associate loyalty and pride with the governing power. The display of flags in government buildings or the strategic positioning of monuments in capital cities may seem innocent, but these symbols subtly remind citizens of their place within a national hierarchy, where obedience and reverence are implicitly encouraged. Foucault's ideas about biopower also extend to how institutions shape our minds and behaviors. Colors, for instance, have a remarkable ability to trigger emotional responses. Studies have shown that different hues can activate specific parts of our limbic system, the brain's emotional center. Blue often represents calm and security, while red signals urgency and action. Corporations and governments strategically use these colors to elicit emotions that align with their objectives. Imagine a political campaign that uses blue to create a sense of trustworthiness, or a sale that uses red to generate urgency. According to Foucault's theories, these subtle influences shape our decisions and attitudes long before we consciously process them. Institutions don't need to tell us explicitly what to feel. They use symbols and colors to guide our emotions and, by extension, our actions. The use of symbols to communicate authority isn't a modern invention. From the pharaohs of ancient Egypt, who used images of cobras and falcons to represent divine protection, to medieval monarchs with crowns and scepters, leaders throughout history have employed symbols to establish legitimacy. In Foucault's view, this system evolved over centuries, adapting to new contexts while retaining its core function, to enforce social hierarchies subtly but effectively. Today, secret societies like the Illuminati are often rumored to wield similar power through symbols. While the existence of such groups remains a subject of debate, the impact of their alleged symbols, such as the pyramid or the all-seeing eye, is undeniable. These symbols act as markers of a hidden hierarchy, suggesting that knowledge and power are reserved for a select few. Foucault might argue that this exclusivity perpetuates a sense of inequality, reinforcing the idea that only a privileged minority possesses the wisdom to govern society. Architecture, Foucault observed, is another vehicle for symbols of authority and social order. Government buildings, religious sites, and even corporate headquarters often incorporate grandiose designs meant to inspire awe. The structures create an atmosphere of reverence, inviting people to subconsciously submit to the power represented within. Foucault's idea of panopticism, a form of surveillance that encourages self-regulation, can be seen in the architecture of courthouses, churches, and financial institutions. These spaces are designed to make individuals feel watched, even when they aren't. The arrangement of seating, the height of ceilings, the choice of colors, and the placement of symbols all contribute to a subtle psychological effect, reminding individuals of authority without overtly exerting it. The all-seeing eye is perhaps the most iconic symbol associated with modern-day control. Originally appearing in religious contexts as a representation of divine wisdom, it now represents the broader concept of surveillance and omnipresent observation. In a Foucault-inspired analysis, this symbol functions as a psychological tool, reinforcing a culture of self-surveillance. The presence of the all-seeing eye in various media can subtly encourage people to conform to societal expectations, mirroring Foucault's idea of power that operates invisibly. For instance, security cameras and electronic devices with tracking capabilities serve as modern-day extensions of this symbol, reminding us that our actions may be monitored. Foucault would argue that this environment creates a disciplinary society where individuals internalize surveillance, modifying their behavior even without overt threats. One fascinating aspect of symbols is their universality. From the Eye of Horus in ancient Egypt to the red circle on the Japanese flag, symbols often transcend cultural boundaries, resonating with universal archetypes. Foucault might suggest that this cross-cultural significance underscores the timelessness of power structures. Symbols like the pyramid, which represents a hierarchy with the elite at the top, appear in multiple civilizations, each adapting the structure to its own form of governance. Even currency reflects these symbols of power and order, with designs that imply a sense of national or cultural unity. In Foucault's view, currency isn't just an economic tool. It's a vehicle for reinforcing social hierarchy and allegiance to a larger system. By including symbols like the all-seeing eye or the Latin phrase Novus Ordo Seclorum, meaning new order of the ages, currencies worldwide perpetuate ideas of continuity and authority, subtly aligning public perception with national values and trust. While many symbols serve the public-facing side of power, some symbols are reserved for closed groups. Foucault noted that secret rituals and symbols often create strong bonds among elite members, enhancing their authority and influence. Secret societies like the Freemasons or the rumored Illuminati use symbols like the owl in ceremonies that meant to foster loyalty and shared identity. According to Foucault's theories, these rituals reinforce social hierarchies within these groups, instilling a sense of exclusivity and purpose. By participating in symbol-laden ceremonies, members internalize values that align with the group's goals, strengthening their commitment to its agenda. Such rituals, performed in carefully selected locations, create an atmosphere that amplifies their psychological impact. Members often leave with a renewed sense of identity and loyalty, embodying Foucault's belief that power is most effective when it operates on a personal, internal level. The final question we must ask ourselves is, how can we break free from this system of symbolic conditioning? Foucault believed that understanding the mechanisms of power is the first step toward resistance. By recognizing the symbols and questioning their meaning, we can begin to reclaim agency over our perceptions. We don't have to see symbols as inherently oppressive. Rather, they offer an opportunity to understand the intricate systems of influence that shape our daily lives. As Foucault famously said, where there is power, there is resistance. Recognizing the hidden messages and symbols enables us to engage critically with the forces at play, transforming symbols from tools of control into opportunities for self-awareness and ultimately liberation. In the end, symbols wield power because they tap into ancient, often unconscious parts of our psyche. They shape our perception of authority, safety, and identity, reinforcing the social structures we inhabit. By taking a Foucault-inspired approach to these symbols, we can learn to see beyond their surface meanings, questioning the forces they represent and embracing a more conscious, empowered way of interacting with the world around us.